What's up, Reds? Welcome to the Sunday Summary live here with the Near Post Pod and Steve. As always, we got Dearmid Peter with us, very special guest. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Today, we are going to be discussing the Aston Villa match. Trent, late winner, really good for us to get the 3 points. Back-to-back wins, Arsenal and Aston Villa. And then, of course, we got to be talking about VAR, boys.
Unfortunately,
It's gonna be a good one.
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right. And so let's go round table real quick. We'll say good morning. Steve, you lead it off. Opening thoughts.
On the match.
Yes. We'll save VAR.
Good.
We'll wait for some more people to roll in. And guys, throughout the show, put your thoughts in the chat. We got Liz, Tony, Jordan. Good morning to all of you. Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, my thoughts on the match. It felt really good. I think that was correct me if I'm wrong, I think that was our first home win this year.
Since Tottenham.
When was Tottenham? Was Tottenham December?
Well, it feels like ages ago.
I think it was our first home win in 2021.
That's insane if that's true. And you keep going. I'm gonna look that up actually.
But anyways, I thought we deserved more than 2 goals. It just felt really good. And Aston Villa, for whatever reason, just is a tough side for us to crack. We needed to win that game after the 7-2, so I'm glad we did. You could see just the emotion when we scored that second goal from Klopp. It meant so much to him to kind of put that to bed, that 7-2 defeat. So I feel good about that. Much better than I felt after the Madrid game. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, look, happy with that. I thought I wouldn't say it was a great performance. It was a decent, good performance. Like, first half, Jota had a few chances. Salah should have scored after that Mings mistake. We started well, though. Like, our previous Anfield games, we were kind of, we haven't made chances. Like, we looked like scoring, I thought, yesterday. And then second half, I thought was sluggish after Salah got his goal. I thought they were time wasting a lot. It was really not like badly time wasting. So I delight when Trent banged that in. Missed a few chances. Mane missed one at the end, but it didn't really matter. Look, 3 points for that top 4 race. 3 points is all that matters. So I'm delighted with that. It's all about the results at this stage.
Yeah, definitely. We need them for that 4th place. But what I love about that game is when Trent, Firmino, all them guys who kind of been getting a lot of scrutiny in the media or whatever, and he just bags that goal. You seen his antics on Twitter after, like, just be quiet.
I think he put out a tweet. He was like, "Are you not entertained?" or something, and you just love that. You absolutely love that. I feel like if we can just start playing games from the 45th minute, I think we'd be set. We wouldn't have lost like a lot of the games, because this game particularly, in my opinion, I thought we played fairly well. I think Peter, Dearmid, you may have mentioned it as well. We weren't great, but we got the 3 points, but we were creating chances. Like, it wasn't like against Madrid where we couldn't create anything. I think we had 1 shot on goal. But going back to talking about Mane, I think it was right for Klopp to sit Mane. I really do. I think not starting Mane and then bringing him on. Granted, he brought him on in the center forward role at the end of the game, but it's good for Mane to get a rest. It was his birthday yesterday, so I don't know if it was a form thing or Klopp was just like, it's your birthday, you don't have to start this game. But the point is, I think Mane needs a rest. And what I want to ask you guys is, based on the performance of the team yesterday without Mane starting, what do you think about going into Madrid without Mane in the lineup? Or do you think Klopp goes with the tried and true front 3? Start with Steve.
Very, very tough question to answer. It's something that I've been going back and forth with even before this show. Tried and true seems like the safe bet, but Mane's making me sick to my stomach to watch him play lately. That's the reality of it.
It's not that bad.
No, Kyle, he is the worst player on the pitch. 3 consecutive games, he's been the worst player on the pitch. This goes back to, I think it was Arsenal. And then, of course, at Madrid, worst performance I've seen by him in 4 years. Not even close. Nothing even comes close to it. And then when he came on yesterday, I mean, what can you really expect? He's been sitting on the bench or sitting in the stands for 2 hours, and then like he's expected to come on and do something. He just looked equally as awful. So I would like to see Jota, Bobby, and Salah up like we did today or yesterday. but I would not be surprised if he goes with Mane, and I wouldn't be mad either. I just think Mane is just all out of sorts. This is different than just poor form. There's something wrong because he forgot how to play the sport. That's the reality. He hasn't had a single good touch in 3 matches.
Wow. All right. Thoughts, Dearman?
Yeah, it's maybe slightly harsh, but I kind of agree to a lot of that. Like, even he didn't play much yesterday, but even the chance he got, he had a great chance through 1-on-1. Like just to get his confidence up for that Madrid game, just slot that away. Wasn't really like he didn't even challenge Martinez. Straight at him, lovely height, easy catch.
Yeah, he should have either finished or squared it to I think it was Jota running there. Yeah.
It just kind of shows his decision, like his finishing it's been so erratic. Even when he's always missed a few chances, even when he's playing well, but like some of his finishing, it's so bad. Like he's absolutely skying it. He's just not making the right decision. He's a bit predictable at the minute. I think, look, Mane's been a class act for us since he signed, but let's be honest, he is starting to just gradually decline. It's just the way it is. He's 28, 29. Like, Mane's a lad that relies a lot on his physicality, his strength, his speed, his agility. Like, he's technically good, but he's not technically excellent. He never has been. I just think with Mane, still, I'd probably drop him for Wednesday, I think the game is, but he's a good lad to come on 20 minutes to go. Like, he can stretch a defense. I just think his decision-making in the final third has been poor. I don't think he's scored in something like 10 games in the Premier League, which, like, that's a big drought for a forward player.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. Peter, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it looks like with Mane as if he's no confidence anymore. Like, he's on the pitch where last year, 2 years ago, he would have taken on a man. Now he's, kind of sitting back. He doesn't want to attack. But I think going into Madrid, our real issue wasn't the front three. It was the midfield because Toni Kroos and, Luka Modric, they just schooled them boys in midfield. And I think that's where the game's going to be won on Wednesday night. Whether they play Mane or Jota, either way, I can't really give out because we know what Mane can do when he does play. But right now, he's not firing. I personally won't play him going in Wednesday.
Interesting thoughts. And, I just wanted to bring that up because it was a topic of discussion over the weekend. But let's go away from the negative. Let's talk about the positive. I mean,
hold on. What do you think?
What do I think about it?
What's your take? You get a say in this.
I brought it up. All right, fine. I was trying to scare it. But look, I think Mane is in bad form. He's in really bad form. Personally, I think Klopp is going to go with Mane, Salah, Firmino. I just think that's what he's going to do. He's going to go with the front three, bring in Jota off the bench. Going off yesterday, though, it would only make sense to put Jota in and not start Mane. But at the same time, I think he goes with his tried and true. I would like to see... I'm just an optimist. I want to put Mane in there and let Mane work through it, play through the bad form. But at the moment, I don't know if he's going to do that, especially in a super important game like the second leg at home to Madrid. I don't know if that's the game to do it. So it's tough. I think Klopp will go with Mane, but I would like to see Jota start over him. That's me. But let's talk about Trent, right? Gareth Southgate in the stands. World-class finish. He's not even in his position to make that finish. But, I mean, if you go back and you look at the picture, Aston Villa had 5 men in the line of shot, between him and the goal, and he managed to bend it around all of them and finish. I jumped off the couch. I was screaming. I mean, it was just fantastic. That's the mentality monsters that we've had. And it hasn't been here all season. We haven't had a finish to a game like that since Tottenham, right? Since Tottenham, by the way, that last Tottenham win, the last home win, December 16th.
Embarrassing.
Insane. All right?
Embarrassing.
So, Bobby scores that one, and now Trent, after all the criticism in the media that y'all were talking about, comes in, world-class finish, man. I just think it's just so interesting how the narrative changes after a result, right? 1-1, we're all thinking man, is this going to be another draw? Are we still going to be winless at Anfield? You know what I mean? Since the new year started. And then this is reminiscent of last season at Villa away, where we fought back late in the game to win it, right? Robertson's goal, and then Mane with the header, he gets kicked in the face. It was just great to watch. I feel more optimistic. Like, do you guys feel like this run of bad form at Anfield is over with this finish? Like, have we been able to channel the mentality monsters back? You think this will carry us forward?
I don't know. It's just one win. Look, I was delighted with that Trent banging that in, but I don't want to get. I hate saying that 3 wins on the bounce in the Prem, which is good, but let's be honest. We played a couple of poor sides, like Arsenal are a poor side. We played well against Arsenal, but I think that was blown out of proportion. Just how bad Arsenal were. Touching on Trent, me and Peter have to apologise. We done a Euro prediction video yesterday for the England squad, and we didn't have Trent in our squad. And
was it before the game?
No, it was after. It was actually after the game. See, the thing is, I'll ask you. About Trent being left out of the England squad. Yeah, like I don't think Southgate didn't leave him out because he doesn't have the quality going forward. I think Southgate knows all about that. I still think Trent, even yesterday, was a bit of a liability defensively. I thought he had a good game, but you know what I mean? Defensively, I still think he can be got at. And against Madrid, I thought he was horrible. I hate to say that. I thought he was horrible defensively. Great going forward, but if he doesn't have Van Dijk or Henderson kind of around him, he struggles.
No, you're absolutely right. He's an average defender. He is average defender. Steven, what are you thinking?
What's the question? What do I think of Trent,
bro? We're talking about Trent.
I'm just so glad that he scored that, but it's weird when you watch the replay of the goal. All the Villa guys in the way, 6 of them or whatever.
Yeah,
they just stood there like statues, and Trent just threaded the needle. Great finish. Really happy for him. I think it must feel good for him. He gets dropped from the squad. Then he plays a terrible match against Madrid, like you had mentioned. The header back to Asensio, whoever it was. And then he scores this. He's on a roller coaster of emotions right now. So that must have felt really good. I'd like to see a little bit more consistency. I think it's a joke that he wasn't picked for the squad. In my opinion, he's the best out of them all around. But yeah, no, it's really good for him. So we'll see what happens moving forward. Hopefully he can continue.
Yeah, and you guys may follow Reece James and Kieran Trippier more than I do, but I mean, I'm watching Trent week in, week out. He has his games where he's great defending, but then he has games like Madrid where he's just absolute garbage. And it's just, I don't know. There has to be some sort of consistency.
The best defender out of the bunch is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, in my opinion. But I think he's really solid. He just can't do anything going forward. If you could combine him and Trent, woo!
You guys were talking about this on your podcast, the one that I was joining in. That was a good pod, by the way. You guys were talking about, or one of your guests, he's horrible on the ball.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to get picked, though. But see, why we didn't pick Trent, agreeing with Stephen there, I think he's the only player of them right backs who is world class, who could be classified as world class. None of them could be, but what I think is the reason he won't, he suits Liverpool system, but he wouldn't suit an England system with poor centre backs. You know what I mean? It's not that we don't think Trent is not better than Reece James or whatever. I just think they're a bit better defensively. That's more what England need. It was kind of looking at an England perspective, not really who's a better player, because I'd have Trent as in terms of Liverpool. I'd have Trent all day. Just with England, I think them lads might be a bit better defensively, would suit them better, because they're not going to play the same way. So you kind of have to take that into account. But he showed a nice bit of balls to step up and just bang that in. You know what I mean? Even against Arsenal, good performance. So it showed he has a bit about him to bounce back after all the criticism he's got. What age is he? He's only 21, 22, and he has taken a lot of criticism.
Yeah. The thing with Trent, though, right? We all know how good he is attacking, like you said. But when it comes to an England setup, look at who they've played centre back, like Harry Maguire, Tyrone Mings. They need help off the right back. They do, and Trent can't really provide that. Van Dijk doesn't need help from his right back, when he's alongside Matip or Gomez. That's why he suits us. He plays almost as a wing back, up and down. He could play right wing nearly for us at some stages, putting in them crosses. But England don't need that because they have the midfield kind of 10s that we don't really play a 10. You can argue Thiago, but Wijnaldum's a box to box. Henderson can box to box. Fabinho's a 6. Yeah. So he suits us. He's our creative link there, whereas England don't need that creative link because they have Mason Mount and they have James Ward-Prowse and players like that.
Yeah. One thing I want to say, I think we miss Henderson in the fact that Henderson does that work of helping cover the fullback wherever side he's on. He does help out wide, and I think Trent especially is missing Henderson in that aspect. But let's go over to the chat. Ryan Johnson, JK135, Izzy Taylor, what's going on, everyone? Let's see what we got here in the chat. Downturn, no worries. So Dermot here saying, is there animosity between Salah and Mane because in previous games, contrary to what Steve says, Mane could have went down numerous times in previous games to buy Salah a pen but didn't go down? Steve, it just seems like these guys can't win. It's either they're floppers or they don't go down enough.
Listen, Mane has spent so much time on the ground these last 3 matches. It's mind-blowing. Even again, especially against Arsenal, he was on the ground, and I spoke about this in last week. He was on the ground, laying on the pitch. Must have been for a third of the game. No one is falling that much. I know the pitch is wet. I know they hose it down, but Mane, if you're gonna dive, if you're gonna try to draw a pen, pick and choose when you do it. Don't do it when you're frustrated because you just got pocketed by somebody. Don't do it when you give the ball away. That's Mane's problem, in my opinion. When he's trying to draw a pen, it's when he's frustrated. It's because he's having a bad game. It's because he just gave the ball away or somebody just tackled him. It's not because he's in great form and he's burning these defenders and he's tricking them into lunging at him and going down that way. That's my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but
no, I agree.
I don't think it has anything to do with Salah.
Yeah, that's all good. What do you guys think, real quick?
I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I think that if that was part of the media, that's just media trying to find something out, nothing between Mane and Salah. I think a lot of that is just made up anyways. I wouldn't even pay any attention to that. Personally, I like players like Salah who will take a little tumble cleverly to win a penalty for sure. It happens the whole time. You want lads like that on your team, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But Mane, when commentators praise him when he doesn't go down because he tries to score the goal himself. You can't win. If he goes down, they'll say he's a diver. So I wouldn't make anything of that, to be honest. I think there's nothing going on there.
That's exactly that. Peter, you have anything to add?
Yeah, look, they're both professional footballers. At the end of the day, they both want to win games. I don't think they're too fussed about who's taking the penalty or I'm not going down because I don't want him to score. But I think that's a lot of waffle from the media.
Yeah, no, they're always trying to pick something out. And I feel like it's always been that way ever since, I think it was Mane got mad at Salah against Burnley last season. I don't know, something stupid like that. But look, Liz was talking about Salah's poor finishes in the match. Real quick to touch on this, I think Salah was in the right place at the right time after that rebound goal after Martinez had saved. Look, Salah has quietly been in the Golden Boot race, and without Salah, we wouldn't be where we're at today because, like you said, Mane hasn't scored in 10 league matches. Bobby can't buy a goal because VAR is and we're moving into VAR. Don't worry, Bob. You saw Bobby yesterday. He was almost finally, he threw his hand up after he finished. He was like, finally, I scored something. It was a beautiful finish, by the way. But I thought Salah, he leaned back on one, and then he just tried a little toe poke, an early toe poke around the keeper. I think he could have dribbled around him. I mean, that's just Salah trying to finish. You guys have anything to add to that before we jump into VAR?
I thought he was good yesterday. That header is not easy. The ball's coming fast. He's running fast. He hit a laser in the first half that was going near post top corner.
That's right.
And that was a great save. And then the he should have finished on his mistake. That's tough. He could have dribbled around him, but it's really tough. When the goalkeeper's running at you full speed, he ended up missing the goal by, we'll say, a couple feet. But I didn't think there was anything to really note from his finishing. So I was happy with him from yesterday, personally.
Yeah, me too.
Even if you look at Martinez, though, for that one where he went for toe poke, his foot was covering the corner anyway. Like, Martinez, he's a very good keeper. He's big. Like, it's very hard to run around a guy of that stature. So Salah's just doing his best there. And for the header, that's what you want your goal scorer to be. He just has that instinct. He knows where the ball's going to come off the keeper just to get the little touch on it, and he beats the defender to it. So yeah, world class. Going for a golden boot again, and people still try and say he's overrated.
It's a joke.
It's gonna be 3 out of 4. It's unreal.
Yeah, was he tied for third, I think, right now? Or is he in third? 19?
Tied first.
I think tied first for Harry Kane, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Man.
Kane missed a bunch of time too. He's had a good year.
Yeah. I mean, he's a world-class striker when he's healthy. I don't care who you are. That's my opinion.
And he's going to leave, but we're not going to get into that.
Yeah. Look, VAR. All right. There's a problem with VAR. Okay. My opinion is that it was brought in to be an objective measure for these close calls. So you kind of take out the bias that there could be, right? But the problem is that you still have people drawing the lines. Okay. We've had this countless times. The one that just the two that come to mind, right? You have the one against Everton earlier in the year, and then you have this one, okay? Millimeters. Now, and arguably, if you look at the lines on the field and you look at where the lines were drawn, they could be argued onside. Now, I'm just going to say it was too close to call. It was too close to call. There needs to be a what is it? Like, there needs to be an area where if it's too close to call, you don't change the call. Because, right, it needs to be clear and obvious, right? That's the whole point. That's the whole point. Steve, I want to hear. I'm ready. I'm excited to hear Steve.
I'll let you guys go first. I've already given my piece on VAR. The angle at which they look at it is ridiculous to me. Like, why am I looking at it like this? Like, can we just move the camera down the sideline and like look at it straight? It's 2021. There has to be that technology. Number one. Number two, when I first saw the replay, I thought he was off. I was like, damn, that's coming back. Yep. And then when they zoomed in and played their little game with the lines and all that, that's when I was like, okay, he's not off. Or like you said, it's too close to overturn.
Yeah.
VAR is shambles. It's a joke. What do you got? You guys hit me. I don't know.
I'll let Peter go first.
Yeah. The issue with VAR, I think you can look at specific incidents and say, oh, this one was wrong, this one was right. But you see it in the Champions League, it's not as bad. The issue is the people judging the VAR calls. The officiating in the Premier League is well below the standard of every other European league. That's the issue, and it always will be, because the human error is there. I don't know why they keep forcing these English refs in. Firstly, some of them aren't fit enough to keep up with the game. They're overweight. You know, you look at others.
They're
John Moss.
Like, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Lee Mason.
15, 20 yards behind the play. Like, they need that VAR because they can't see it. You know, they're in their opposition's box and the pitch is like, it's a joke. Surely there's some fitness tests that need to be done, but still, they're just so ignorant as well. We've said this numerous times on our podcast. Like, they're ignorant. They think their word is the law. They're human. We know they can make mistakes. Just at least admit to it when they do make a mistake. You know, they won't even chat to players. They won't listen to anyone other side. Just, my decision is this. And then they go to VAR. I remember against Everton, right? How long did he look at that camera for?
Oh,
at least 5 seconds.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
He just went over. He looked at it and he just walked away. No, I know. Like, the issue is the referees for me. VAR is a good setup, bar the offside thing. I think the offside ruins it. But at the end of the day, it's still the same referee looking at it. So that's where the issue is always going to be.
Yeah. Jeremy, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the Lewis Dunk interview. Do you remember what happened with West Brom and Brighton? I don't know if you've seen that. The way the goal was given, he took a free kick quickly. Like, Lee Mason blew his whistle. Dunk scored. Then he brought it back and said, "You took that too quickly." Then he changed the decision again and said, no, the goal's okay. Then he looked at the monitor again and said, no goal. Dunk said in his interview after he went over to chat to the referee, like, you know what I mean? Gave him a yellow card, told him to go away. Like, they are very ignorant, which I can see how frustrated the players are. Also, thing with VAR, you know, when Salah got that goal, even when Trent got his goal yesterday, me and Dad were there sitting, we seen the goal in and we're like, all right, just wait a minute. So we watched the replay back twice. See, are they going to try catch this out here? Is this going to be overruled? So like after that Bobby goal, that was this like you're not celebrating goals straight away. You're like, all right, let's not be an idiot here. Let's see. Like I just thought, remember Shaqiri pulled it back to Thiago. We were like, oh, is there an offside here? They're going to catch, or is there a? That kind of sums up VAR. We shouldn't even be talking about this. We should be talking about the games or whatever, but we're talking about the rest. We're talking about the VAR. It feels like they're looking for every little thing to cancel. Like they're making it into a game of chess or something. Like, oh, let's put this line here. Let's just get him offside with his hand. Like Ollie Watkins got a goal. I remember watching Villa and West Ham. He had a goal disallowed because a defender was pulling his arm and he shoved the defender away to try to make space, and his arm went like that. The line, let's say, was there, and he was called offside because someone was holding him. It's just a shambles, and I don't know. Yeah, like Peter said, the people using the technology are a big problem as well. The referees, it just kind of highlights how bad the referees are.
One thing though, I have to say, right? Always the attacker's been given the benefit of the doubt throughout football. You know, we look back years, but now they're switching it and they're giving the defender, like, what is half an inch to an attacker, offside or onside? It's not a difference. Really, that's the defender's fault. You know what I mean? If it gets by there, sure, like what we watch football for is to see goals. And surely, like, if you've done enough to get a goal, unless it's a clear offside, it shouldn't be ruled out, because that's the hardest thing to do, put the ball in the back of the net. So I don't see why the defenders and all these get given the benefit of the doubt the whole time, just out of spite. Like it's literally an inch. You know what I mean? An arm offside. You can't score with your arm. So why is that offside?
Yeah, and like you guys said, you're not even celebrating goals anymore because you have to wait and see. There's no I mean, it's in the ticker down below. There's no magic in the sport anymore because you're always waiting for VAR to review it. You know what I mean? Like, though that goal was a good goal. It was a good team goal, good pass. But when you're making decisions off of millimeters, it's just like you said, the advantage is given to the defender. There needs to be a certain level where if it's this close, you can't overturn it. That's just my opinion. I think there needs to be some modification to it, because otherwise it's just you're going to spend 5 minutes looking at these close calls. They're going to change from game to game because of who's drawing the lines, who's making the decision. There's just no consistency to it. Like with goal line technology, for example, there's no person drawing the line of where the ball is. You just have it's technology making the decision. I think someone brought it up in the chat here, where it should be technology making the decision rather than a person drawing the lines. And I would agree with that 100%. I think it would, Liz here, VAR decision should be computer generated, not done by an EPL referee. But it also goes back to what you guys were saying. The EPL referees are just below par. They're out of shape and they can't draw lines. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Tony thinks VAR is the biggest threat to football in years. It's not fit for purpose, and it's taking the passion and fun out of the game. Jota was level with the defender yesterday, so not offside. It also depends on where you stop it, right? Like, because you're doing it on when contact with the ball is made or when the pass is made. That's a big part of it.
They could just do like the body part that is closest to the goal, whether it's a hand, a foot, a shoulder, like literally who has a part of their body closer to the net, and not worry about center of mass, shoulder, whatever. That's going to take the guessing out of it. It's going to have attackers running with their arms pinned to their sides. But I mean, you can't argue with that at the very least.
But you can't score with a hand. That's the argument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sickening as well that they put so much effort in. Yeah, they put so much effort into drawing these lines to get basically. It seems what it feels like to catch someone offside. Yeah, let's say when Virgil was tackled by Pickford in that derby. They didn't even look at that, like stuff like that. But not even just that. They don't. Sometimes there could be a stonewall penalty or a decent penalty shout for someone or a possible red card. They don't really look into that much. But offside, they'll look at it with so much time and I don't know. That's what it feels like, anyways.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess the whole Everton thing. What was it? They didn't review it because, or they didn't review the decision because it was offside. Like they didn't review the red card for Pickford because it was offside. It's a stupid. I don't. So what? If it's offside, the play's just dead. Why do they let them continue to go?
He made a mistake. So
yeah, I don't know. Well, at least he came out and said he made a mistake.
Yeah, that's very rare. So
yeah. All right, here you go. Nobody but shoulder and foot. You're talking without knowing rules. Ooh.
Steve. The rules clear. Not body, shoulder, and foot. Talking without knowing the rules. Okay. Well, they don't put that line where they're supposed to. Then that's the problem that we're talking about. We need consistency. Whoever that was.
It's Liverpool FC, the official Liverpool FC YouTube page.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Look, what I'm saying is, if you guys can't get it right with the rules you've put in place, then let's go with something like that. Whoever has a body part closer to the goal. Or introduce technology. There's other options that are going to work better, guaranteed. I can guarantee you than what they're doing today.
Or put the damn camera down the line.
Yes. I understand you said you can't score with your hand, but you need your hands for a lot of things in the sport. For running, for fighting off defenders, for picking yourself up off the pitch. Like, I know no one's going to punch the ball into the net with their freaking hand. I know that.
Maradona might, but...
Yeah, well, there you go. It's just crazy. Like, there's other ways. They can't get it right. They need to change. I don't care what they do, but it needs to be standardized and it needs to work.
Yeah, I think they need to just... The refs, though...
Yeah.
Like, I know what Paul Tierney did make that decision there, but just in general, like, right, even that game Tuesday with Madrid, I know the ref let a lot of fouls go that probably were foul, but at least he was consistent. He let it go both ways. Like, he let kind of not late challenges, but, you know, hard challenges go in. It's not like he was given one for here, but he didn't give one there. Like, Mane should have had a few fouls, but so should Benzema and a few. So I don't mind the ref if they want to let like things like letting the game go, as long as they're consistent with their decision. Premier League refs would give something here, but then the same thing happens the other end of the pitch and it's a different decision. I think that's the most frustrating thing. They're not consistent on these decisions at all. Just, I don't know.
It's like a driver, right? It's a bad driver, but they keep getting the safest car every year and they keep adding new modifications, but they're still crashing the car and they don't know why. You have to look at the driver, like you have to look at the people who are, you know, looking at these things. That's why I said you can talk all we want about change of VAR, what technology need to improve, but if the referees are judging it, it's going to be wrong. You know, a lot of the time it's going to be wrong, especially in the Premier League, because we've said it so many times, the officiating is so bad.
Yeah. I think what I want everyone to realize is that it's not like the refs are out to get us. I really don't think that's the case. It does seem like that with the results, but the refs aren't out to get us. I mean, they're professional referees at the end of the day, whether they're out of shape or not. I mean, but I really do think that the results that go against us, they have no, you know, they have no. Yeah, they have no vendetta. Like, they can't help that Jota was really close to whoever it was, Mings, right? I mean, that's just how the game goes. It's just one of those things. I think I want to go over to the chat and see what some people think about it, and then we'll talk about some of the transfer rumors with some weird ones coming out, namely Keda moving to Leicester. I don't know what's going on with that one. That was a weird rumor that came out. Let's see here. Dermot again here saying VAR is taking the enjoyment out of the game. Football is an entertainment, but VAR is taking it away. No better rush than when your team scores. Now that's gone. VAR, goal line technology. Yep, I agree. And this is kind of what I was getting at with Izzy. Like, they're not out to stop Liverpool, in my opinion. It's just how it goes. It does seem like that sometimes. Fly Girl asking why to change the result of the game. I think she was referring to why like in VAR, like looking at the decision or changing the decision. It's just to get the decision right and make it consistent. At least that's what I think. Like there needs to be some standard of what they're applying VAR to. Let's see what else we got. City Fisher saying, "No, the refs are out to get us." Yeah, and this is what I'll leave it at. Refs aren't vindictive; they just suck. With the bro emoji.
That's it.
I love it. Now let's follow up. We'll end it with some transfer talk, right? So the big one. What I want everyone to remember before we get into talking about it is that we have Kabak on loan with an option to buy. I personally think, and I don't know what you guys think, I think we'll end up buying Kabak. I don't think Michael Edwards and Klopp, I don't think they would have got the option to buy or brought him in on loan if we didn't have the intention to buy him in the summer. I think we did that strictly because of financial reasons, right? Just being very smart with our money. Now, the one we're linked with is Ibrahima Konate, right? A lot of people think he's injury prone, okay? He's still super young, but the fact of the matter is he has a low release clause, and I've just seen so many reports, and this is what I don't like about the European media. You'll see literally one thing that's like he's agreed terms with Liverpool, he's coming in the summer from the same report outlet. And then the next day you'll see he's not coming. Like he's said, nope, I'm not coming. I'm staying with RB Leipzig. It's just ridiculous. Now, Ibrahima Konate, what do you guys think about it, Steven? I want to get your thoughts first.
I don't like to, I don't like to like.
I know you don't like
this rumor garbage. That's all it is, man. Like I just like to wait and see what's going on. I don't think he's coming.
But you also don't like Kabak, and that's why I wanted to ask you.
What about Kabak?
I know you don't particularly love Kabak. Let me change what I was saying. Mm-hmm. So in your opinion,
I think he's won me over. It took a while. He was awful. He's won me over. I think he'd be a suitable fourth choice. Mm-hmm. That's it.
What about Matt Phillips?
Third choice. If we get rid of Matip. If not, Phillips is fourth, Kabak is fifth. Because we have Van Dijk, Gomez, and Matip all ahead of them on the pecking order. Unless Matip goes.
So now, is this your opinion, or you think Klopp is going to put Phillips ahead of Kabak?
I cut out the connection.
So is this your opinion? Would you rather have Phillips ahead of Kabak, or you think he deserves to be ahead of Kabak? Or do you think that's what he's become? Like, do you think Klopp is going to put Phillips ahead of Kabak?
Both. I don't know what Klopp's going to do because that's the third option. But the first two options, do I think he's earned it? He's played better. Yes. I like him better. I think he should be ahead of Kabak on the pecking order.
Interesting. I saw Peter smiling.
If we sell Matip, we need to buy Kabak or somebody else. If we sell Matip, we need Kabak or somebody else. If we keep Matip,
I do agree with that. If we get rid of Matip,
we can go back to Schalke.
Peter, I got to get your thoughts.
That's a reality. What do you guys think?
Not for me. I think Nat Phillips is like a Brighton, defender. Max, he's no real ability with the ball at his feet. I don't think he's looked well defensively because he's good. He's getting up for the headers. He's strong, physical play. But when you're talking about someone in beside Van Dijk, I think Kabak suits that perfectly. Kabak's very good on his feet. He's still learning. You have to remember, like, this guy is so young. Phillips has been playing, for a bit more first-team football, I'd say, in his career. Like, Kabak was playing a back five at Schalke as well, so he's adapting to this new country, new language, everything. And they're both not leaders of a defence like Van Dijk is, so they're both going to look better beside Van Dijk, I think. They've been looking at Kabak for how long now? Like a year and a half. So they obviously identified him as a talent to come in for a long-term project. And I think they'll definitely sign him. But keep up with the intensity of training or the intensity of the games or anything. He's just too injury-prone. And it's sad because I do like him. I think he's our second-best centre-back, to be honest.
And just to be clear, you're talking about Matip?
Well, Matip's our second best.
Out a little bit.
And I'm not a huge fan of Gomez.
No, I'm with you. I think Matip is our best center back. I mean, I love Gomez, but Matip is the second best center back in our squad. On his day, Matip is incredible. he's really good, and I feel like a lot of people don't see that just because he's always injured. But yeah, Dearman, what about you with Kabak and either getting rid of letting Kabak go back to Schalke and bringing in Konate, or you think has Kabak won you over?
I think it's impossible to judge Kabak because when he came in, we were struggling. How many partners has he played with? He's played with Henderson, Fabinho. They're both not even centre backs. He's played with Phillips, so that's 3 already. He's 20. I don't really know if he's good enough or not good enough yet. I know I've seen a lot. He has impressed me. Obviously, he's a bit rash. He's only 20, but how much would it be? It's 19 million. Is it the obligation to buy, or is it a bit more than that? How much would he?
It's something between that and 30 million, but I really think it's like on the lower end. We would save money if we bought him as opposed to Konate. I do know that.
I think we need both though, or maybe if we didn't buy Kabak, I still think we need 2 centre halves. Matip, I think, is a good player, but you can't trust him playing more than 2 or 3 games in a row. So I would sell him just because you can't rely on him. There's no point. It doesn't matter how good he is. You can't rely on him. On Phillips, let's be honest, like Phillips was playing in Bundesliga too before he came. I know he got promoted, I think, with Stuttgart, but yeah, Phillips is a lower level Premier League defender. Like, I rate what he's doing, but I just think he's over it. He's playing at his best. That's not Phillips at his best. There's no scope to improve him. With Kabak, there is scope to improve there, but either way, I just can't really judge. Like, if Kabak was I'll ask you, if he was playing with Van Dijk, you'd probably say, "Oh, this lad's looking quite good. Good on the ball, looks assured." Like, even them lads knowing they have Van Dijk beside him, it's just going to ooze confidence out of them. So I think, and on Konate, I think his injury record is worrying, but I'll be honest, I haven't seen lots of him, so I can't make a big judgment on him. I know he's highly thought of, but I haven't seen loads of him myself.
No, 100%.
I have a question. Do you think the reason you say that Kabak can improve is because he's making mistakes? Because Phillips he hasn't really put a foot wrong aside from maybe one match. I know he's older, but Van Dijk improves everybody, no matter what stage in their career they show up to Liverpool. I think he still can improve. And are you guys familiar with scored.com?
No.
Kyle?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so it's a website with like analytics, and you can see everybody's stats. Nathaniel Phillips is the only center back at Liverpool to have over a 7.0 for this season for his analytics match performances, including Van Dijk, Matip, Gomez, Kabak, everyone else. So that's just something to keep in mind. I do agree that he's playing really, really good football. I think when you had mentioned like he's almost at his peak, well, he's been at his peak for 12 games or however many games he started. He doesn't seem to be declining. Like, I think he really is that good. I think you guys are wrong about him, but you're not the only ones who are saying this. So, like, I totally understand that I may be the minority in the Kabak versus Phillip conversation, but like the numbers don't lie. He's played incredible this year. Kabak necessarily hasn't. That's just that's a fact, a statistical fact.
But stats can be extremely misleading. I remember there was a stat going around on Twitter with Mustafi and Van Dijk, and it was saying Mustafi was literally better in all the things like duels won, this and that. But then you watch the games and you just know Van Dijk is levels above. So I think stats can be a bit misleading. But on Phillips, he's been good, but I think we didn't really expect much from him. Like, the way we want to play, I know this is a off season for us, but realistically, he's not the man. If we want to be challenging for a title properly, he's not the man to have. Like, he's not great on the ball. Trust me. Yeah, I get that he's really, really good in the air. Loves the physical battle. Like, I'm not doubting his attitude. I just don't think technically and stuff he's good enough. I know you're saying he doesn't make that many mistakes, but like maybe he makes more mistakes than you think. It's just not kind of highlighted because maybe the team didn't score or maybe nothing really happened off it. And on Kabak, if we didn't sign Kabak, I wouldn't be that annoyed. Like, I don't really know how good or bad he is. I still think it's hard to judge without him playing with like an established centre back. So Either or. I don't think personally right now. I don't think both of them are good enough to properly be our main centre backs. Maybe four choice. Yeah, one four choice.
Yeah.
But
No, we're on the same page with that for sure. And I want to know what you guys think in the chat. Let us know, Kabak or Phillips. Drop it in there.
Yeah, got a lot of people saying Kabak. Kanate is going to be godly. Kabak is going back unless we sell Matip. Liz says, move on Matip, get Kabak and Kanate. We need depth. And people are saying we forgot about Ben Davies. I didn't forget about Ben Davies. I just don't know where he is. Is that just a conspiracy? Did we actually buy this guy?
I feel bad for him.
What's going on? You guys might know better than I do, but I feel like we just bought him literally as cover. Like, because we moved up Nat Phillips from those lower sides, Ben Davies replaced Nat Phillips. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like that's why we brought Ben Davies.
I won't mind. Ben Davies was probably a top five centre back in the championship the last year or two. I don't know what's going on there at all. It seems a bit dodgy.
Yeah, it's a little weird that he hasn't got anything. Dearman, what were you going to say?
He's a 25-year-old or 26-year-old that we bought from the championship that no one really heard of. Let's be honest. I know Peter heard of him, but this is what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting anything from him. What we cost 1.5 million or something. If he probably wouldn't start for Brighton or Crystal Palace, so why should we play him? I think it was literally just to get a body in. If we have to play him, we'll play him just because we were that stuck for number. It was just pure desperation. There was no one else to buy, I don't think.
No, I agree. Pure desperation, because he was only 2 million or maybe even less than that. And he was a top quality center back, like you said, Peter, in the championship. But it's just one of those things to think about, because we're so low on center backs with the injuries to literally all three of our first three choice center backs. We're putting, I feel like as a fan base as a whole, myself included, we are putting Kabak and Phillips on a pedestal at the moment, just because we don't have any other center backs to compare them to. So when they have one good game, we're like, oh, Kabak is incredible. Oh, Phillips is incredible. Granted, they might have these good games. But I also think, like Steven was mentioning, if you put these center backs next to Van Dijk, they're immediately oozing confidence, and they're so much better, or they at least look so much better than what they actually are. And real quick, we'll close off on this, because this is a controversial topic as well. Nabi Keda. He's been struggling with injuries. We all know that. Steve's had it. He's done with Keda. All right. Keda is linked. This is how I almost know that there's something going on, like Keda might be on the way out. He's linked with Leicester City. Okay? He's linked with Leicester City. Just to remind everyone, the last player to be linked with Leicester City that played for Liverpool was Philippe Coutinho. Felipe Coutinho was linked with Leicester City from Barcelona. I know that doesn't make it any better. I'm just saying Nabi Keda. What are your thoughts on Nabi Keda? I just want to believe that he's good, but it's been 2.5 years and I just haven't seen anything. Is he gone?
I think he will be. But the thing with Nabi is he is a very, very good player, and I can see that in him. But he just doesn't do it for us. He doesn't suit our play. He doesn't suit anything. I can see this being a case where Nabi will go just to say Leicester or whatever, and he'll start playing very good, and we'd be like, oh, why do we sell him? But I think you could leave Nabi here for another 10 years, and he won't provide anything for our squad. Not one thing. I don't think he suits anything Klopp wants. I just don't think he suits us whatsoever. I do think he's a good player. If he can stay fit and he goes somewhere else, I think he might shine. But he's definitely can't get the light here. I think he has to go.
That's good points. Good points. Diarmid.
I would have, in terms of his price tag, he was 50, 60 million, wasn't he, lads? Roughly.
Yeah, and they're marking him down for 30 million.
He's done nothing for 3 seasons.
If we got 30 million from him, I'd snap any team's hand off if I was Liverpool. He's been such a flop, I think. Even when he has stayed fit, I think when he does something half decent, like say someone else did, it kind of gets overrated because it's Nabi. He hasn't played much. Nabi's back. I think it's been one of the worst. I think we just need to cut our losses on him. He's injury prone. He's just hasn't really adapted to the league after a couple of years, as Peter said. he's just not. And for the money we spent, remember we got him on a pre-agreed, so we got him like he was still playing with Leipzig, but it was a pre-agreement kind of thing where. So like when you see them sort of deals go through, you're like, geez, like because he was really sought after by all the big clubs in Europe, and we got him. It looked like because I didn't know much about him, but when I seen this was going on, I was like, wow, we must have gotten an absolute baller here. But I think he's been a flop, lads. Taking price into consideration, I think he's been one of the most underrated flops. You don't see rival fans even talking about it, like they probably should. Let's be honest, he just hasn't been good enough. And if we got 30 million for him, I'd take it. To be honest, he has a bad injury record as well, which is worrying too.
Yeah, I just think that as fans, me included, I'm holding on to the fact that he could still be good, but he's never fit. He doesn't have the opportunity to be good because he's never fit. And, Peter, I'll just disagree. Like, I feel like he could fit our system. I feel like when he plays, he's good. He does have a bad game here or there, but really, I think he's been good when he plays, in my opinion, at least just from the eye test. But again, we don't have that run of play. And Liverpool versus everybody here saying he just can't stay fit. It's that simple. And Steve, clearly, he's done. He said, let's get rid of him. 30 million.
He has to go, guys. He has to go.
Yeah.
Why are we going to have him at this club any longer? Plays 10 games a year. 1 goal, maybe an assist. It's a joke.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't.
It's a legitimate joke.
Yeah.
Like you can't. And I made this point a couple weeks ago before we wrap up here. Everyone's calling for Matip to get sold for so long, but you didn't really hear about it with the people that, when it comes to Keda, until just recently, let's say, especially the Madrid game, it's been brought to the forefront. We need to figure out what's happening with Keda right now. That's what's on people's minds. Like this summer has to be the decider. But nobody had any problem last season, this season, saying, sell Matip. He's always hurt. Mind you, Keda has more injuries and has provided less to our success of winning trophies over the last 2 or 3 years. So there's a double standard there. Everyone's got Nabi's back, but those same people are so quick to sell Matip. I think people are finally starting to come around on the fact that he's not a Liverpool player. He's not up to our caliber. He can't stay fit. And I think all of the injuries have changed his body and changed his skill as a footballer. And I just don't even think he's good enough anymore. I don't think he has the talent anymore. He's been injured for 3 seasons straight. All sorts of injuries, illnesses, this, that, and the other thing. I just don't think he has it in his physically anymore or mentally.
I honestly think that's a great point. But considering the fact that Matip has been with us longer, and at the beginning, Matip wasn't, I feel like the first year or two he was with us, he wasn't that injury prone. Like he would get injured, but it wasn't like it is now where he plays for 45 minutes and then he's automatically injured again. I feel like it wasn't like that at the beginning.
How much longer?
What?
How much longer has he been with us? I don't even think that matters.
He got bought. It was like Klopp's 3rd signing, and he was free. Like it was him, Grujic, and maybe Mane or Wijnaldum. We got him on free. I think he was the first defender we signed. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're right as well. Liverpool Liverpool spend their money really, really wisely. I'd say 90% of transfers have been a success. But again, with I think price tag has to come into account here as well. If he was he's one of our most all-time expensive players, and in my eyes, he's our 6th choice midfielder. I'd have Milner ahead of him, no bother. Even that Madrid
100%.
game, I watched him. My dad was always pointing to that as well. You watch Wijnaldum, or you watch kind of the other lads, they give it and they go. They're always moving. They're always on the move, always under. Nabi kind of walks around. I don't know. Maybe that's just his body language. I'm not saying his attitude stinks, but you know what I mean? The Liverpool system, everyone's on the move, everyone's busy. He just seems to lack a small bit of work rate. Maybe that's his fitness level. Maybe he's afraid to get injured. But I noticed that with him as well. Yeah, I think just we need to cut our losses there.
Good points. Good points all around, guys. I think we had a good discussion today. Let us know what you guys think in the chat. And of course, guys, we're very thankful for Dearmid and Peter coming on from the Near Post Pod. Go over and check them out on YouTube. Check them out on Twitter, their podcast. Great content over there, guys. Really appreciate you guys coming on. We'll do something over on your channel very soon. Any closing thoughts, gentlemen?
Spring on Wednesday. Come on.
Yeah.
Are we in for another Barcelona on Wednesday?
I'd like to say yeah, but I just think without the fans, it's a completely different story.
Yeah.
Terrible fancy coming to an empty Anfield. If we had the fans there, I'd say personally, I think the tie is nearly over. I just think the fans is such a factor. Like Madrid won't be intimidated coming to an empty Anfield. So, but bring it on. Hopefully we can sneak a 2-0 win. Kabak and Phillips masterclasses, but I think we're hoping that.
Oh man,
if you leave Mane on the bench and Keda, we have a chance. Straight up.
I'm excited.
Thiago, Fabinho, and either Milner or Wijnaldum. And typical back four, Allison, who we didn't even talk about today, but he's driving me nuts. And then Jota, Bobby, Salah up top, and you have a chance.
First,
that's my professional managerial opinion that no one cares about. But I think that's our best
needs
chance.
to start. Thiago needs to start this game. I don't know why.
That's why we bought him. We didn't buy him to play against the Aston Villas. Okay, that's what I'll say.
He's good. He's quality, and he's showing it more now that Fabinho's in the midfield. He's able to get forward a little more. He doesn't have as much defensive responsibility. The quality is there, and we need to utilize it. Guys, thank you so much, all of you, for being here. Thanks, everyone in the chat, for leaving your thoughts. Man, it was a good show. And until next time, Reds, take care.